Here are some tools that I use to make hair covering much easier. My biggest secret that I use, you might have heard me discuss it before, it's called a grip comfort band. And I'm going to show it to you right now. It's a velvet headband that you can order online. Just give it a search, grip comfort band. There's tons of websites that sell it. It's quite expensive. I really should start making my own, and I could sell it to you guys for cheaper. So if anyone wants to start making their own, and I can, go into partnership with you, that would be a great idea. Anyway, so it's a velvet headband that you wear on your head. It has usually an adjustable thing like this. And what it does, you wear it underneath your Tichel. Obviously, I'm wearing it on top of my Tichel. It has the ridges of the velvet go against basically your Tichel moving back. So your Tichel cannot move back during the day unless you really give it a big tug. So I've worn this in Chicago where it's very windy with my hood on and off all day and nothing budged. So that's my biggest secret, is the velvet headband. Now this is something new that I've discovered. It's called a volumizer, and you can get it from Judith de Perrier, who I made a video about just now. And I'm showing it to you right now. It's a cap, let's see, that you put on your head, and it has this, padding at the back that makes it look like you have hair in the back. And so I have a bit of hair, but if you don't have any, you slip it on and you've got hair. And it's also, you could wear it with the velvet headband underneath, and then it would really not slip at all, but it also has a very good elastic that keeps it on. So another tool that I use is, a basic bobby pins. And you just put them in on the side, and they keep everything in place and keep things from slipping. So definitely hit those up. They are wonderful. And, there's something I've noticed in hair elastics lately. They're doing these hair elastics without the metal band, which is really great. I find they break a lot easier, but it's much better for your hair because it doesn't get snagged in your hair as much. So make sure you wear hair elastics that don't damage your hair. I forgot to mention in the last section that I actually know someone that one of her secret tools is she takes a pair of pantyhose and cuts off the legs and then slips that on her head instead of the velvet band that I use, and apparently that works to keep the Tichels from slipping. So I've never tried it, but it sounds like a good idea. So in this section I'm going to discuss just some basic techniques to keep in mind. Often you'll see me in my videos folding the scarves, and I know that can be confusing because it's really hard to show in the video how I fold the scarf. So I'm going to show you a big square scarf. The way to do it is that you put the opposite ends together to make a triangle, which is pretty basic. And one thing to keep in mind is that many scarves that you buy from stores have been folded for a while, and often the fold will hit right here and just look really awkward. So make sure to either iron your scarf, or I take a spray bottle and spray it and then let it dry, and that usually gets rid of the creases and wrinkles. So keep in mind when you are putting the scarf on your head, always keep in mind what people are going to see. What people aren't going to see doesn't matter because they are not going to see it. So when folding the scarf to put on your head like this, keep in mind to make sure this part is very well folded without any creases. But you don't have to worry about the tails or anything like that because no one is going to see that. So, just do a basic knot at the back, like so. You can see, no creases. Now, in many of my videos, you will probably notice that I usually play around and fold and unfold things based on what I want to do. In this particular scarf, I would have to decide if I'm going to put it over my head. I would have to decide, do I want this part showing or this part showing? Now for me, I would like the brown part showing because, if I showed this part, it would look exactly the same as the rest of the scarf. So I would fold it like this, have the brown showing. If there are any tags that you didn't cut off the scarf, make sure they're not showing, that they're in. And then I usually tuck it underneath. You want to be fairly consistent with your tucking so it doesn't come untucked during the day. I would do the same with the other side. The back part doesn't really matter, but the front part does because that's what people are going to see. So yeah, same thing. tuck it under, and you have, you know, a very basic Rapunzel-like look here, which I'll take down. I've found that very large scarves, they look like they would have a lot more options, but often very large scarves are harder to work with because you just have way too much material to deal with. So I personally like scarves that when I put them on like this, they reach the middle of my back, so it gives me enough material to actually twist and work with, but it's not so much that I don't know what to do with. But I've seen a lot of ladies, if you have a very large scarf, you can fold it up, you can, you know, even tie it like a ponytail with an elastic in the back, and it kind of looks like a messy bun, which is very cool. So definitely figure out what length of scarf you are looking for, and then you'll eventually learn how to eyeball it in stores. If the scarf is too small, it's not going to cover your hair. If it's too big, it's going to get in the way and you won't be able to take your coat on and off without it falling off your head. So get to know what lengths you like.